Hello fellow bikers, thanks for taking the time to view my video. I'm here at Texas Adventure PowerSports here in Richardson, Texas. They offer demo rides on some of their bikes, and I was able to take one of the new 2019 Can-Am Rykers out for a test ride. I apologize in advance, my mic decided not to work on the day of the ride, so I'm going to have to narrate over most of the video. Which is not a bad thing since it was really windy, so it's probably better this way. This style of vehicle did take some getting used to, however I was able to take it right on the highway with no problems. I can't say it was a weird feeling at first. It was like riding a four-wheeler at highway speeds, however its low profile keeps it pretty stable. I didn't want to make any sudden moves at first because it didn't seem to be too safe. However, once I got used to it, it didn't seem so bad. As you can see in this segment, I was able to change lanes rather quick after the turn when the bus in front of me stopped to pick up its passengers. The Ryker does not lean itself into turns like the traditional motorcycles, but you can shift your weight to help keep it stable in the corners. You will still have to be careful from flipping it over if you take the corner too fast. I'm sure the more time you spend on it, the more you'll be able to tell what it can and can't do. The Rykers do come equipped with disc brakes on all three wheels for stopping power. There's only one brake pedal that is operated by the right foot, and it applies all three brakes at the same time for an even stop. That's right, bikers, there's no hand lever for the front brake. I know I tried to grab it a few times, so that does take getting some used to as well. This part I had to put in for my wife since I'm test riding it for her. She likes the doggies, so this one's for you, hon. The Ryker is a new model for 2019 from Can-Am. They offer three models: the 600cc with its base price starting at about $8,500, a 900cc with its base price starting at $10,000, and a 900 Rally Edition whose base price starts at $11,000. All of them are fully automatic by the way of a continuously variable transmission. No shifting gears on this one. The CVT will find the right gear at the right time. They're liquid cooled with electronic fuel injection and throttle control. And they also come with the standard drive shaft for the final drive. Here's one segment that I've not seen on any other demo rides or video of the Ryker. I noticed that the fuel gauge only had one bar remaining, and I was about 15 miles away from Texas Adventure PowerSports at this point. Since I was not familiar with the fuel mileage and wasn't ready to take it back, I decided to put a few bucks into the gas tank, so that offered an interesting experience to say the least. It's more like filling up a car, and even then it doesn't even have a gas cap at all. You just slide the panel back to expose the fuel port. You can't see down into the gas tank to see the level, so you either have to trust the automatic cutoff of the pump or guess. I opted to guess this go around and only put 2 gallons in. Even though the specs show that it can hold just over 5 gallons, the gauge went from 1 bar to almost full. So I was ready to continue. Since I wasn't moving, the wind wasn't that bad, so here you get to hear my initial impression after filling this up. It's quite funny.
That's how you fill it up. Doesn't even have a freaking gas cap. That's pretty crazy.
This is how you start the Ryker. First you press the start button, then you have to roll the throttle forward. I released the parking brake right there, it's not required. But then you have to press the brake, and then push the start button again, and that starts the Ryker. Here in Dallas, we have a small lake called White Rock Lake. It was not far, so I decided to ride by the lake to enjoy the day. Probably not the best idea since the wind was even worse coming off the water. Unfortunately, the lady of the lake will not be here since it's daytime. She mostly comes at night, moistly. She is also camera shy, so she probably would not have shown up anyway. Although I might try to come back in a future video and see if I can find her again. So here's the boat ramp where I decided to do the walk around. As you can see here, when I turn the bike off, it does make a very nice beeping sound until you turn that parking brake on. So in case you were wondering, this is what the Ryker actually looks like. This model actually has the Army OD limited edition panels. You can see they're green there with the little Army insignia on the side. That seat there, I kept feeling like I was going to slide off the back most of the time. A backrest would probably be a good addition there, but I did get used to it after a while. Right here they have a U-fit system so you can adjust the foot pegs. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out how to make them work. You're supposed to be able to flip that up and move it back and forth, but the guy at the dealership told me you have to reach all the way into the bottom and slide it back and forth. Unfortunately, it got into a bind when I was trying to do it. But as you can see, the handlebars, you just flip that switch up and then you can slide it forward and back depending on how you wanted to ride. And when you find your position, you just push that right back down and you're good to go. There's not a lot of bells and whistles on here. You have your high-low beams, you have your blinkers, you have your horn, you have your kill switch, your start button, and your throttles. You notice there's no brake levers, no clutch levers, because they're not needed. Right here you can see that's the brake lever. It operates all three-wheel brakes at the same time. I added some pictures at the end of the video, but you'll see you can get a passenger seat, windshield, extra colored body panels, little accents to go on the wheels. The Ryker also has a reverse feature. Use your left foot to pull that back, push it back forward to go forward. It's the only time you'll have to shift gears. This here is essentially the key fob. You just clip on right there on that little ball and you're good to go. You can also have it programmed for other Ryker vehicles if you have more than one. Right here you can see that this is a little storage compartment. Has your owner's manual and whatnot. Little charger port. Not a lot of space, but it's enough for a phone and maybe your wallet if need be. Unfortunately, my camera wasn't rolling when I turned the Ryker around to get it in the spot like that. It took 2 or 3 tries to get it in there, so that takes a little bit of practice. Definitely not like backing up a car. Another thing you'll notice right here is this is not a motorcycle. You got to keep it in the center of the lane. You can see I deviated over the yellow lines right there. I'll do it again a little bit later in the video going around the corner, so it does take getting used to. See right here, there I go deviating over the lane again, so you gotta be aware, it's not a motorcycle that we ride on the left or right of the lane. You gotta stay centered. So keep that in mind when you're riding on one of these. Another thing to keep in mind, you can adjust the handlebars on the fly. Right here I do it just sitting at a stoplight and pull it back just to see what the feeling was, but be aware, you're gonna have to get used to it. See there? Pretty sure they didn't want me to do that. However, that little blip is nothing compared to what I do in the next few clips. When I get back up on the highway headed back to the dealership, I got a little open road, let my lead wrist take over. You can see how responsive the throttle is there. Still had a little bit more to go after that, but I had to back off for the traffic there. On the last turn for the dealership, I had to do a better one. Nice little echo there under the bridge for you to get the full effect. Overall, I enjoyed the ride, and I think my wife will too. I would recommend this for anyone looking to get the feel of riding a motorcycle but not have to worry about shifting gears or keeping the balance of 2 wheels. However, I could see myself stealing this from my wife when we get one. That's coming from a guy that rode that Harley there on the right up here. These next few slides show the different color body panel combinations, passenger seats, windshields, and accents that can be installed on the Rykers. I hear some of these body panels will be limited edition and cycle out every 6 months. Brandon Luther is a sales manager over at Texas Adventure PowerSports. Go look him up and let him know Wildscarr sent you. And if y'all enjoyed the video and found it useful, go ahead and drop a like. Leave a comment, let me know how I did. Thanks for watching. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, and be safe out on the road.